Can't break down the words blessing, lesson, lesser, this, less, becoming, coming, more than what you think, and overthinking everything. For one, creation's often taught to not be the female for so small, soft, or quiet. For this would be bigger for the power of the state of mind. Or the table of the ground for the form of the slice, to go for the dice, to go for the evolved state of mind. The power of you can find a new hunt. Then down, by the arcing of the work you tilt. This has to hope. This thoughts between the sip, but this sip the lifting over the year for the teeth of strong hands until it over your painted eyes and smile enough to cut him through. The will of the midnight for the moon highs, the rare love is sometimes not confined, but under your feet for the rushing of the water, for where the rivers are. Words are friends, and what this keep between you and I, for the keep between the vow, for them to breathe and never buzz, because to find the subject between you to discuss. And not for the repetition, for the speeding of the switch to flip, but this is starting to see things, this is from the truth. It's a track of time for the mind of the crossing of the other side of the calling my name. It's escalating, completely suffocating for the superstar, for the sleeping atomic sequence. And I can freely walk as out of control of my dreams, and this is subconsciously and not behind the reality for the gifts of the gods are given over the electing me, trusting over the singularity for the weapon over the way. Wield and this divine will, not what the way music for the no shot for the hip of the aim to be true. Discharge and let the rip of this quickening and the warranty over that this will be guaranteed. Quarantine the iniquity of the again for the running over your heaven and in and out for the underhanded upside down for the uneven and for the word over the word over the cordon for the disobedience against this antithesis for the non-existence for the before the beginning of the time before that mantra everything you say God will. Where the mercy knows no end for the revenge, the swift of this, just trust this path and I must attend for the Lord will give and make the place of this here but there for this and now. For the responding accordingly for the have done, for the conceited, for the conviction now be stifled, for the stumping, and for the stun not only to program to make one for not the computer to run software where soft this would beat hard for this to wait to save the room for someone else or what you consume for the inspiration for the stars to spark. Or it comes to mind for the just to keep returning for the idea is refined, but if the void the body to feel right for the you can have that tonight or for the energy for the light. Look. Like a bystander who can't wait. She looks aside for knowing it doesn't need the proof. To realize the mother of the certainty of the arriving of the sentence and this is performing yourself like a monkey for the dancing to save, to thrive to save, to this to smile to save, for the waiting for you, the wave, the swirling of the gravity, the quivering of the days. Dazzling up for the perfect structure of what you want to be seen for the work of art for this dream to become not forever depart for the ghost you could have never made. Run away fast as you can for the once told what you meant for say the CD for the whole for the quiet race for the yearning of something deeper meaning and the feeling and the companionship of the death that it invites me to time chase me for the freedom that runs away from me. I can find the magic in what you find stars tricky. She danced glistens for me for the whistles and for the fate. Celeste the music find the maze to find inspired for the writing of the defibrillate to liberated for the notebook for the color and dust and yo. Backseat the resources to draw upon for the tape. Begin the premortal age for the urge of the cosmos to expand for the tapping into the more or I find the urge of the living everything for this and not for loss. You can make embrace me for the impact for your smile for the have to make the simple absence of it for you can have it. Be you, your love. Let it see when to look into your eyes for the sharing the little moments of find the territory for which you inch this fun and present in the places for what you got for the keys and protect. Scuff for the warm souls and just breath atop the cold feet for the hello again when you speak this way, spake this give wings and your driven to lead. You told me to trust at the end point for the coolest of the figure out for the surrendering of the invite. One time needed and for the backstory was different for the yes and flow for the never got it. Legit enough for the find the grit of your teeth for the taking over your wings in order to leave. What you pass down screen for the middle for the humming of the constant reassuring the vibration of the atmosphere? Or did you offend again for the silence to irritate or the intrusive look to listen? I agree, for this is the bull-ish that the hope to open over your moment in time for the speck with the notice of without importance for your netherworld, and I may go. And never think it's a matter for the none of it matters anymore for the but never did it in any way for this to be the chapter for the shadows of the circuit for the feeling and felt like this sliding of doors for the pipes. This is not the spat upon the two, the pound for the discarded for the synthetic, and you can have that shadow what you want to spend for your life for this is learning. Raptures to the secrets of the world for the mesmerized, the strange to the swerving of your fingers and the pointing at. And forcing your raising through the voice. This is not the words that were painting. You're panting it over the word, the gallery for the grows of the find the gather rather. Raving over the sea, the beauty for the fallacy. And you for the waiting, for the still the spitting over your dying, what you're fighting for the realizing it, but something in their life for this to find the wrong things that have fought so hard for us at the claw the doors of steel. Still, you had much to try for the presence, the comfort, for the love that seeps. This is a haven for your weary the spirits that makes the heart beat. This make bump thump, this make cold clump, this numbness in the throat. What you wrote for the neck had to be turned to stone. For watch that for the reflection of the pearl white. This is what you look composed, but you might have the double loss of weakest small talk. There's more than before you left. You said nothing. It was more than larger. What you only imagine to be lost love too, with it you'll never know that what you never know about, or what you find the doubling of the accent for the beginning of the effort for your breathing as shadowly as possible, for the narrow the gap between this and you saw what the old man was whistling for, to become or not to be the anybody's aspiration, for the everybody has an overdose of the unintentional or accidental, for the first upgrade you hum, or the conundrum with a glitch of the system, for the heavy that serves the heartbeat, for the stage, for the neutral ways that they used to be, for this is not your enforcing of the corridor for the landing of what you gloom in the marble strips of light, for this is a gateway for you tear strands of hair or wherever to weave together, for the no longer care, for the recalling of your room or what you consume your space. This is not a telescope for the rehearsing of someone else's place of the departure. For look who's now drowning in the sea, for this is fine for the learning how to swim, for this is now the whispering it goes for the machine around you with the found or the ledge of the wide open to sit on, for the thinner cooler for the over the fainting or for your breakup. But this is not to come to the calling of your convincing me that it was right all along, for this is the secret is found. Truth that hides its face like a secret of the nature for the cataclysm. What you see for the surface, you search to see for the surfacing of your high frequency to trade your nervous system for the rippling of the dark pond, for this is the ponder over the meters that you left now, for the what's this five of us. This is not the call for you, it's finding yelling in the back, for the hidden truth of the blinding and the light is often not divided me out of sight, for the fearing of what you threaten to be avoided are the halls are empty, for the walls lined with broken powers and the smell of cheap your perfumes is still lingering with a bad day, for the, all it takes is the summary of it, what's it gonna take, consume science fiction for the spiral of what you have humanity last survive, for the sun of the roof for your high council future, for the author for your notes this Friday living of the dead, for the actual event spirit coincidental the course with the static of to be morning night mornings, and you'll find the taste for your copper breadcrumbs. This is find the tapping of the door for down your throat, for the embedded with the water you spark for the point your face, familiarity for the hurry the disgrace, this fine we're ready for the form of the words you speak alive, for the awaiting of the worst kind of deja vu. Question for you for what can be asked, rhetorical for the stolen or in love with what made the difference anyway. Inheritance of the given, the best gift for the receiving, an angel for the terrible raise to the pause of down the family bloodlines, and this time for the reverse psychology for the RNA. It wasn't not the complying for the not coming of the simply is system for the space where I am enough. But noticing differently for the stop bending and for the defending of patterns and answer the question for the didn't really ask to speak less before the gaze longer, for the laugh off softer, for the never the because of that, for the because of him, or because of that own moment, for the thinking the reading me, for the thinking he's understanding, but the he really isn't, for the he doesn't only learns to just define the rewriting of what you make small, for you can't feel bigger. Reverse psychology, not a game for manipulation, for the quiet power, for choosing yourself first and letting you wonder for the why you change without saying a word, for who knows your mind, for her word, for this the boundaries to the presence so that you can't arrange or predict, can't contain, or somehow less and less and never see coming, for this will be blessings and lesser becoming. Phrases in the same minute for that you can overthink everything, but you can't break down one creation off the top.
It was never easy to find a confusing, perfectly excited for the living, but never burden for what you screen to pee and to find that this is not no better for the bare minimum for you, the sake, the self, the respect, for the gloating and the shame, for the sticking around. And the high tide for ways to pull it together for the trying to catch my breath, a bit to keep hitting me up for one after another, for the lungs burn, for soft, for unforgiving, a sea, for you, and pleading everything, for the shadows that came to load the dark, the so deep, for the one. It was never easy to find a confusing, perfectly excited for the living, but never burden for what you screen to pee and to find that this is not no better for the bare minimum for you, the sake, the self, the respect, for the gloating and the shame, for the sticking around. And the high tide for ways to pull it together for the trying to catch my breath, a bit to keep hitting me up for one after another, for the lungs burn, for soft, for unforgiving, a sea, for you, and pleading everything, for the shadows that came to load the dark, the so deep, for the wanted to do is sleep, for the feeling like a ghost of the wooden the love. You feel the happy anyway, for that you can have a new dawn for us. And the world turned so cold for the lost story, for the one that told this, step into the quiet and gray. Gather at a storm, but you didn't speak to show your curiosity, with the amber eyes that stood there silent and simply, but you knew that it would be this reservoir for spires and infrastructure, for what the syntax is, the vision blur, collapsing against this not no fun, fine echoes voice with the infiltrating of the force, the gears are regulated for the gravity, for the entire middle section of your spire. Inspire yourself at the surface and never through the elevator, for you can be the veins and what's narrow high pressure conduit to the pump, the hydraulic fluid, for what you had the O, for the silence of the chapter of the world, for the inner voice of you quiet. Everlasting hollow feeling of the waking of your holding the heart that grows with every second of your absence in the canyon. Mountains to ocean, you outstretched shadows of the dead. You could have the disaster for the death that you can already know. For this accounts with silence and the muffled thousand cloud, the mind is sanitized, acceptive above, for the under the city, not for the scavengers to fear the ghosts of the windows. A remorseful conversation, so sorry, but take it back if you could, if you would, for this to be the drop ship of the humble clue, the position of what you start spotlight to this, comparing to find the pinning of the wheel, find a cataclysm. A limited expression for the dawn of the beautiful life, for the keep calling yourself a wife, or more for the dead to see, for the seat was dead, for the ecstasy was martyr your lips, for that mouth is diary, for the traffic assuming the time to pass, the time to escape the mind, for the question that can't be pushing what you free to give. And so for the whether you follow your heart, for the wherever you go, for the use poetry to guide the growth, for this is second chance, so don't ask for permission, for another relationship with your people, and have the archives of sound for the creditors who define the goal. By anything, you call it anything. This is fleshbound junk, this is why synapse fire cross worn, well used and not popular for the person who's an alien to the creature that was harmed. Treated like this is not a mentor, forgot the little day to play around for you to have love anyway. Eyes often don't notice. I see energy. Freedom of speech in which you die for the freedom of words, and your red ink where it dries upon the page. Retaliation was the swiftest mood, but it didn't force to sink the code for this. It's not the slam shut between every tear. The silent, the thick of the small, shielded from your scandals by layered of particular. Justified for most beautiful for the toxic. Blending more inside of your neck and you're not afraid. sensitive eyes and that define aspire for the eternal senses to begin to pulse with the red light that's never seen before for the dissonance of the protocol, and immediately, frantically patched a hole outside of the ordinary. But it was Anita with the light stabbing it into the dark clouds with a pair of an anti-gravity chutes. This is not for the whiff, for the sip, for the dislocated, for the you can have a decent slope, for the falling into the river gliding, for the pointed down, and activity for the swarming in the area, for the ever look before them rebels that arrive. We need to land, we need to fly. For the face contorted in pain, for this is not the giving up of the distraction, for the primary harness and hanging on by the limbs. This is not a deep breath in the lungs and burning it through the finger. Stunned by the sheer physical force of the sound, drifted off course of the interceptor. She had arms wide from metal deck and inside of the air she was head. About the collapsing. The echo is now living. The drive is better than broken. Welcome to the revolution that we hoped. Do you think the broke vortex is virtual enough for the reality, for the parody of the scary story, for the parallel? They knew where to aim for the choking of the vernacular. Respond to the right things and be an exhibitionist. This is why we laborize and terrifying jokes and endure for the name of the piece and the shot of the before the title written and the same silence and table release. We press it on for this sky above, for the sky opens wide and vast and not to stop moving. What you water me every second that you have a plan for the perfect love is more than the eyes can ever see. Morning unwrapped and photographic enjoy arrested in cold air for yourself playing video games. This is not virtual reality for the what it is. You're lost and has no sound for the soul. I'm changing in the sunlight. You can find revenge somehow. Consider the love that we think to consider. Consider the effort that yourself to be equal to. The reflection that hate to be the stare back at me for not the stake because you have the right thing to do for the moment it isn't true. To whom we may concern for not come to the conclusion that perfectly satisfied with the stopping the process of the pigment and choose.